Hello, my fellow crest-wearing companions, and welcome to another episode of Extra Time, the U.S. Men's National Team Soccer Podcast. I'm Tim. I know I've been gone for a long time. I know that I've missed 2 friendlies and at least 2 games. I'm going to be able to get away with saying this is the Haiti recap, but we're going to cover all of it, every single little bit, and then later on this week I'm going to be making episodes based on just who I think is going to be making the squad and which players I would pick. But for this episode, I just kind of want to get back into it. I've started a new position and a new job, and I've just been crazy busy, and I finally cut some time into my schedule to be able to shoot one of these videos. So I'm going to talk about all of the matches, all of the games. We're going to just kind of break it all down, look into it, and we'll go from there. All of that is coming up. Stick around. The United States finishes atop its group in the Gold Cup. We put a hammering on Trinidad and Tobago. We snuck out a win against Saudi Arabia. And we picked up a win against a pretty desperate Haitian side. Now, before this, we played 2 friendlies. One friendly against Turkiye and another friendly against Switzerland. The Turkiye friendly went a little bit better. Neither one went great. Neither one am I that concerned with. If I was going to make one point to everybody about the 2 friendlies, it would be this. Stop posting in the forum threads that the MLS players are better than Premier League players, than European players, than anybody overseas. Literally stop. I'm probably going to wind up making a video or a whole segment section where I'm just going to pull up people's comments in all of these groups and I'm just going to rip them apart. Because it's outrageous and there's data behind the fact that it's wrong and it's just not working. We need to just completely get away from the fact that we're going to play MLS guys and these MLS guys are better and all domestic players and da-da-da-da. If you're one of those people, I now personally have to believe you're just intentionally trolling and I'm no longer going to be reading or responding to any of your comments. Not that I was before. I guess I was reading them. And I did just say I was going to do a whole segment on them. But that's really not the point. The point is, just stop. Stop believing them. If you're doing them to troll us, that's fine. I'm going to make content out of your trolls. But literally, it's really not relevant. So, if we go through the matches and we go through the games, okay, with the players that we have right now, we're going to go to the Gold Cup. We're not going to touch friendlies. Who cares about the friendlies? Okay, let's start with all of this nonsense and all this drama. Okay, I know I'm super late to the party on this. You're making content. You got to address it. It's par for the course. It goes with everything that I was saying. I'm tired of listening to players of the past in this good old boys club mentality talk about whatever it is. How they don't have pride. How they don't have passion. How back in my day I wouldn't have done this. How everything was better back in my day. People actually cared back in my day. Players were committed back in my day. You didn't play against the talent that these players are playing against. You didn't play the number of matches these players are playing. You didn't play the same counter these players are playing. You didn't play in the same leagues that these players were playing in. The only person who has any kind of credibility to say anything is Tim Howard, and Tim Howard's a goalie, and I'm sure the workload for a goalkeeper is significantly different than a central midfielder or a winger as far as physical effort put on the body. So that means that there's currently nobody having a conversation that's a former U.S. men's national team player that has any kind of say in what's going on. Now, some of the arguments that have at least a little bit of weight. The argument that these players don't have any pressure on them to show up and continue to play because they're too content or comfortable with the position that they have. Okay, that's one of the arguments. For better or for worse, it might be true. Now, whether you believe the players are too content or not, whether you believe they're too soft or not, is one half of the argument. The other half of the argument is, were they in jeopardy of losing their position? Now, some of the players, sure, right? We've seen Weston McKennie fall. He's probably at risk of losing his position, right? Tyler Adams, depending on how fast he can recover and get back from his injury, maybe. Kind of the same thing with Dest. After that, everything feels like a stretch. Christian Pulisic, is he really in jeopardy of losing his starting spot? No. Flair and Balogun? I mean, maybe, but the argument would be that he's going to lose his starting spot to Ricardo Pepi. Neither one of those players are there. Timothy Weah? I don't think he's going to lose his starting spot. Jetta Robinson? Probably not going to lose his starting spot. Yunus Musa? Nah. Weston McKennie, like I said, meh. Serginho Dest, if he comes back, maybe to Joe Scally. So 8 of the 10 players that we would start on the field really aren't at risk of losing their starting spot. Now, we didn't have 2 center backs, so you were looking at Chris Richards, Walker Zimmerman, and Tim Ream. Tim Ream, who's going to age out. Walker Zimmerman, who might age out and might not just have the talent. But then again, when you look at the center backs that we have, gosh, that might be it. Chris Richards, and then Miles Robinson. So, Mark McKenzie's been getting playing time. Cameron Carter-Vickers has been getting playing time. Are either one of those guys going to step up? Probably not taking over Zimmerman's spot or Chris Richards' spot at this point. Okay. So we're in a conundrum. The players kind of don't have to prove it because they're just on a different league. Christian Pulisic is not going to lose his spot. You think Mauricio Pochettino for the 2026 World Cup at home is going to look at our federation and say, I'm going to send a message to our team and I'm not going to play these guys because they refuse to come to the Gold Cup? You think the U.S. Federation is going to let that happen? We already saw what ticket sales look like for the Gold Cup and the friendlies. That's what people are ripping us apart in all the Facebook chats and the groups and all the Reddit forums and the threads and all that stuff. You guys are already mad because nobody's showing up to these games. You think people are going to show up to the World Cup games if those 8 players that I just listed aren't playing? Or at least in the squad and have a chance of playing? I didn't even put in here Giovanni Reyna. I'm fine with certain arguments. This argument feels like it's going too far. This just doesn't... It's just not on this world, in this universe, in this reality. Is that a possibility? It's just not. Think about the trophies. Think about the tournaments. Think about the things that matter. Did the friendlies matter? No. No. Does the Gold Cup matter? No. It's not. One of my buddies posted a fantastic article. I think I'm going to be able to pull it up because I think it's in here. I'll be able to get the title for it. If you go to ESPN.com, you'll be able to find the article. And if you just search what it really means to get CONCACAF. Okay? It's a fantastic article. Absolutely fantastic article. It goes through data points and compares CONCACAF tournaments to the rest of the world. And it has graphs. So the first thing it does is looks at physicality. Okay? And it shows a graph of got the little plots, the number of yellow cards per game and the number of fouls per game for the average team. Okay? And so you have fouls per game and then you have yellow cards per game, right? And it's just a plot. So it's like the center is 0 and 0, right? Well, the center is not 0 and 0. The center is like wherever the median is. So you have way up here, you have the English Premier League. Way down here, you have UEFA Champions League. Way over here, you have CONCACAF Gold Cup. And then like here, you have the Common Bowl Copa America. So like we're not in the same universe. For some of these games, you look at passing. Passing is like the number of passes and the percentage of passes, like way down here in the corner, is CONMEBOL and CONCACAF. And then I'm not joking you, literally polar opposite corner is UEFA Champions League, and then dead center is Premier League. Okay, aggression again, same thing. Aggression way down in Premier League, way up in the and it keeps going like with shots, with chances, with all those stuff. Like, you know, what does it mean? And they make this summary that's like there's a wide open play style that happens for European teams. Right? And so if you're looking at European nations, which make up the majority of slots, okay? I'm not saying they make up the majority of the best teams because South America has really quality teams and they're going to be putting together quality in this World Cup. But the number of teams that are going to qualify out of Europe is larger than everybody else. So statistically, the kinds of games you're going to be playing are going to be dictated by European teams. And if players who play in Europe and play for these countries play games that are much more laid back, much more knocking the ball around, a lot more possession, like a little bit less physical, more targeted, more tactical, then we're not learning anything in the Gold Cup. All we're doing is putting players at the risk of getting injured, putting at the risk of getting more aggressive, putting them at the risk of being on the bad side of American fans and American media, which it looks like at this point there was no getting around that. You are either going to risk putting up a bad performance in the Gold Cup and get ripped apart, or just not even show up for the Gold Cup and get ripped apart. So now here we are in the Gold Cup playing a C team, okay? Go back to what I had mentioned with these players. We're not playing our starters. Okay? And this is kind of how I look at it. If you're playing your whole starters, you're playing your A team. If you play a mix, like some starters, some not starters, to me, that's a B team. As soon as you have no more starters left, you have your C team. Okay? Now, I understand that Richards is playing and Adams is playing. Okay? Adams only came in this last match, so it's just Richards. Okay? Again, I'm getting rid of Tim Ream. I know he was a starter. Tim Ream's not a starter. We're playing a C team. I mean, like B minus asterisk if you're going to count like one or two of those players. We're playing our C team. Mexico's not playing their C team. Canada's not playing their C team. Canada's playing borderline A team. Mexico's playing borderline A team. Costa Rica's playing an A team. Haiti's playing an A team. Jamaica's playing an A team. Cuba's like Suriname's playing an A team. They're playing A teams. So we have our JV squad showing up to play on a varsity tournament. Of course, other countries are going to have to beat us. If we were to play our A team and we won, what would the reaction be? Well, yeah, you better have. I mean, there was no other result was going to be a good result. Okay. So now we're playing our C team. What is the good result? Is it beating Costa Rica? Because you beat Costa Rica, you're going to play Canada in a semifinal, probably, unless Canada has another performance like they just did. If we beat Canada with our C team, even if we lose in penalties to Canada before going in, that's pretty impressive, right? Like a bunch of nobodies who are competing for World Cup slots like 5 years from now. The only player that I think has a shot, and this is like a spoiler for later on, is Diego Luna. I'm not saying that other players won't. Like, I think Malik Tillman might make the 26, but like Diego Luna's gonna. I don't know if Diego Luna will get playing time, or if he'll get starting time. I think he'll get playing time in the World Cup, but that's a whole nother conversation. So, United States does exactly what it needs to do against Trinidad and Tobago, right? We go out there, we just bury them, right? Start putting goals away, finish the game 5-0. Like, this is what you need, okay? Malik Tillman comes up big, scoring a bunch of goals. We just have a performance that's it's not super clean, but it gets the job done, right? Like, possession's okay. Moving the ball around is okay. Like, we miss a lot of really, simple passes. We're not, super creative, but we eventually just grind Trinidad and Tobago down, and we wind up with a win, right? TNT, it was obvious. I think I said, 40 minutes in, they just completely ran out of gas. It was 40 or 50-minute mark. I mean, that game was over. They had nothing left. And I'm not saying the game wasn't over when we were up 2-0. It was probably over when we were up 1-0. But you could tell that, TNT had nothing. They didn't even have enough in the tank for one counterattack, let alone to get 2 or 3 counterattacks. So that match was just completely over. My brother and I disagreed a little bit in the Saudi Arabia game because I didn't feel like Saudi Arabia ever had a chance, right? Yes, Chris Richards blocks that shot, and if he doesn't block it, it's going in the net. That's it. If Saudi Arabia scores first, do they pack the box in and do they park the bus? Do they do the low block? Probably, right? So we're still back in the route of the United States just doesn't know how to break down the low block, right? We play in CONCACAF. We don't really understand what we're doing. We're not creative, okay? But at least we're going forward and we're creating chances. So the TNT game, lots of direct balls, lots of crosses. We're getting opportunities. Saudi Arabia game, I mean, a little bit, not really. We're kind of just trying to figure our lives out and doing some weird things. Well, then we get into the Haiti game. Now, given Haiti, if they win, they have a decent shot of going through, right? So Haiti is going to go all out and try to win this game. To our credit, we're not really playing a different lineup, right? Free still in goal. We bring in Tolkien, but we have Richards, Adams, Quinn Sullivan, Brendan Aronson, Tim Ream still there, Luca De La Torre, Alex Freeman, Malik Tillman, Ajimang. So we're still playing our starters. like Berhalter's not in, Luna's not in. Those are big players. Miles Robinson's not in. That's a pretty big player. And then we sat Arsene because we wanted to rest him. I mean, Johnny Cardoso's probably starting, but you're also looking at like this Gold Cup is looking at who's getting like the final maybe 5 or 6 slots in this 20-man roster, right? We already know if you're looking at the starters, like these players are fighting for the bench, and we know how deep the United States has been until recently. So I guess not until recently. We know how deep the United States men's roster has been recently, not until recently, just recently. So you got to compete. Like, these players have to compete. Now, a criticism for these guys not coming to the Gold Cup, and this is a legitimate criticism, this is the argument that I would be making. This is the longest stretch of time that these players are going to be together without any kind of international interference. They don't need to go back to their club teams. There's not really a whole lot else going on. Like, they're here to be with their team. They've had weeks to build up practice beforehand. They had the 2 friendlies. Then they went into these 3 games. That's a really healthy stretch of time that they're together. And then they're going to still be together until this tournament is over. So the longer we go into the tournament, the more reps these players get playing together. And get playing together under Pochettino. That's something that our starters are missing. And that very well might hurt us. So there was an argument to be made that these players should have been here practicing and playing, even if they didn't play in the games, just to build the team synergy, just to get that camaraderie, just to get a little bit more experience with the coach, right? And who knows? Time will tell. We do a really solid performance in the World Cup, we can look back on this and be like, hey, it's going to be one of those like ends justifying the means, unfortunately. And whatever happens, people are going to be able to kind of spin this twisted narrative and just say, hey, I was right or I was wrong based on things that we really weren't going to be right or wrong about. So Haiti's coming out. They're really trying to go for it. They're looking to see what they can do. Not anything like too crazy threatening, but you can tell that like the United States just really doesn't understand what to do. And Haiti's not really playing any kind of a block. Like, yes, they're a little bit more on the back foot. Like, yeah, it's kind of like somewhere in the midfield. They're kind of shutting down what we're doing. But a lot of times in the game, they had a really high press. Like, they really went after us for trying to knock the ball around. And it wound up working, right? So, like, we get our goal, and then almost immediately after that, Haiti's just going right into this high press. They know that we're going to try to knock the ball around in the back. They're going to take their chances. They're going to go for it. And sure enough, they knock this ball back. Zimmerman's kind of in this awkward spot. The ball he gets back to Friis is fine. Yeah, it's bouncing a little bit. And I think Friis just hesitates. Like, you can see in the replay, he's thinking about playing the ball out wide. I can't remember who was out there at the time, but he's, like, looking at doing it maybe and, like, hitting it out to them and also thinking about clearing it. And so it's like, he doesn't really pick one. He doesn't kind of do either one. And then as a result, just knocks the ball into the defender. And then, unfortunately, squeezes front post. He just really didn't need to squeeze that front post. He could have kind of stepped maybe to his right and he would have got a hand on it. But either way, so that kind of put us into an interesting position because we were already winning. We don't need the win. But now that Haiti feels like they have life again, they're going to stretch the game and they're going to open the game up. And for a while, not really a whole lot was happening. Like, the game was open, the ball was moving around. I wasn't really convinced we were going to score another goal, but I also really wasn't going to convince Haiti was going to, although we are the U.S. men's national team, so we just seem to want to just, like, concede goals for no reason out of nowhere. But the longer into the game that we went, you kind of started to get the feeling that, like, Haiti definitely wasn't going to get another one, so it was just going to be, were we going to go for it? And there was honestly a time frame where I thought we weren't. We were just going to, like, relax. We were just going to chill. Like, we really weren't going to try to go get another one. And then all of a sudden, like, we just flipped the switch. Quinn Sullivan came alive. We really started going for it. We hit a bunch of shots. We had a bunch of chances. Malik Tillman having multiple things pulled away. And look, I'm going to say this. I understand they've changed the rule. Like, I do. I get it. I know that the rule has changed. It's a stupid rule. By the new rules, sure, it's a handball. Sure. But his hands are directly at his body. He doesn't even move. He literally stands there and doesn't move. And it hits him and it goes in the net. So, if he's a defender and it hits his hand and doesn't go in the net, there's no penalty kick because his hands are in a natural position. But because he's an attacking player, it's a handball and it doesn't count. Why do we have two different rules? There shouldn't be two different rules. It's a handball. You either intentionally played the ball with your hand or you didn't, your hand was either in an unnatural position and affected the play or it wasn't. We don't need all these asterisks with this ridiculous, like, what are we doing? Now, plus side to refereeing in these 3 games, none of them got out of control. Now, that being said, we got Costa Rica, Canada, and Mexico potentially coming up ahead. So, is there a chance the games get out of control? Yeah, absolutely get out of control. Now, I like the referee that we had in this game. Tyler Adams, deservable yellow card, just clean this guy out, right? He's trying to set the tone. We're trying to get it, and the referee set the tone too. You're not going to do this, right? We're going to keep this game calm. We're not going after each other. We're not going to do any of those things. So, group stage, you get your 3 wins, right? That's what you're supposed to do. Who cares what the score is? You're playing your C team. You go out there. It's 3 teams you're supposed to beat. You beat all 3 of them. Okay, great. Now we're getting into a test. Should our C team beat Costa Rica? Yeah. Is Costa Rica a good team? Also, yes. We just have to now try to figure it out. And I think the United States can. I really do. Now, players that just really didn't impress me at all, and this one is I'm just going to start with this one because it's going to get me the most flack, and people can just rip me apart in the comments. I don't think Malik Tillman is any good. Now, it could be because he's just not surrounded by high-quality players. But Tammy scored all these goals. Yeah, I don't really care that he scored all these goals because he had so many opportunities to hit so many beautiful balls and do so many simple things, and he's just a clown. And he doesn't do the things he needs to do. He's botching passes. He's making weird dribbling decisions. He doesn't have the vision to do it. He's panicking. He's getting rid of the ball too soon. He's telegraphing his stuff. Does he have great goals? Yes. When McGlynn plays out, I think it was McGlynn, when he plays the ball across the box and Tillman just chests it down and composes it, it's a brilliant finish. And he's composed. We don't have a lot of players on the U.S. team who are composed finishing the ball, right? His header just heads it calmly into the back corner. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Guess what? I literally don't care. Okay? Sebastian Berhalter, phenomenal set-piece taker. Absolutely phenomenal set-piece taker. He's probably the best set-piece taker that the United States men's team has. I'm not convinced that's a reason to put him on the field as a starter. I could be wrong. I don't think he showed us anything else other than that. Right? Quinn Sullivan, he's hit or miss. He kind of came to life. Right? I think Matt Freese has been tested yet to decide is he going to be better or worse than Matt Turner. But he hasn't been worse than Matt Turner. And he's playing about the same. Luca De La Torre, kind of disappointed. I felt like when I first saw him 3-4 years ago that he was going to turn into something. Not really. Same with Brendan Aronson. I mean, that kid had so much life and pizzazz and speed. I know he's still young, but I'm just not seeing it. We've come 3-4 years, and it just really doesn't feel like he's done much and really kind of come anywhere. Diego Luna is one of the few players that you can just tell, he knows what to do when he has the ball. He knows what he wants to do, and he's going to make it happen. And he's you can just see it in the energy in his body that he's just so comfortable being out there, and he knows he's in the right spot. Lots of other men just lack the confidence, and they're just kind of all over the place. Ajimang, just not enough, right? For the media to be making comments that the number 9 spot is wide open, really? So when Flair and Balogun comes back, someone's going to take his spot? Sorry, someone's going to take his spot who's not Ricardo Pepi when Ricardo Pepi gets back healthy? Who's not Josh Sargent when they're both healthy? Yeah, maybe the 3rd striker spot might be up for grabs. Maybe Josh Sargent, because Josh Sargent isn't better than Pepi and Balogun, maybe you do wind up taking an Ajimang or a Haji Wright, just in case you're playing the Netherlands and you're up 1-0 and you just kind of bang the ball to your striker and just have him, big body and try to hold it. Sure, there's an argument. But Brian White, no. Dude, you're not, no. Ajimang, even with your goal, he's big, he had a lot of composure, he had a lot of turns, you're not playing against high-quality defense, and you're just not finishing really easy chances. So, that's not going to cut it, going to the world stage. Right? Johnny Cardoza, I mean, he's already played with the men's team, so I don't really know, what there was there to be seen. Tim Ream's going to be too old. He's going to kind of be out of it. I don't really think Alex Freeman showed us enough, although I thought he played okay. I thought Chris Richards played great in these games, just very solid. Nothing, wowing me, right? And I could care less if Crystal Palace won whatever they won. Literally, who cares? I just, day in and day out games, the grind. That's what we're looking for. We got a long way to go. Right? We're approaching a year, right? There's a year to go. in this. A lot can happen in a year. Players got to stay healthy. I know that we saw last year before the Qatar one. Yes, it was in the middle of the season. A lot of players getting hurt and a lot of players getting injured. So that's going to be something we have to avoid. Now, we've kind of already avoided it because everybody got hurt. Reyna got hurt. Adams got hurt. Dest got hurt. Balogun got hurt. Pepe got hurt. Robinson got hurt. Did anybody else get hurt? Dest? Did I already say Dest? We got like 7, 8 guys that are all injured and hurt. I mean, if Zach Steffen like stares at the soccer ball, he'll get hurt. Not that he's going to be on the roster, but we've got Tolkien. I mean, if you got to go deep in a wing back and you just don't have anybody else, maybe. Like, maybe you pick him up and you take him. But it's a Gold Cup. Is it nice to watch the men's team? Yes. It's nice to watch soccer again. It's nice to watch us win. It's nice to watch us score goals. I'm not super stressed. I'm not super worried about it. But we are approaching a year. We are going to start to see more difficult things. We're going to see at this friendly in September. Right? September. Then the November window. Then you're going to have your Cupcake January camp. And then we're going into March. And in March, you're going to have the squad's going to be announced. You're going to know who it's going to be. We're going to have had the draw for January camp stuff. Right? It's going to be here sooner than we realize. We're going to have to see what players we think are going to be there. I'm interested to see who Pochettino takes. I'm interested to see what he thinks. I'm interested to see what kind of a say the Federation has in all of this. But if we could take anything away from this, MLS players are not as good as European players. Just full stop, period. Everybody hyping up Brian White. Sorry about your luck. Everybody hyping up Sebastian Berhalter. Sorry about your luck. Everybody hyping up Quinn Sullivan. Sorry about your luck. Malik Tillman. Sorry about your luck. And I know Tillman's playing overseas. They're just not as good. They're not as good as the players that we have playing. It doesn't mean that they might not get there. It doesn't mean that they're not good players. It doesn't mean that they're not better than players we might have had previous that were playing overseas. But this argument that you're watching players dominate in the MLS, and so you're going to get on some social media forum and you're going to run your mouth and think you know something is just outrageous. And if it was just a handful of people, I obviously wouldn't be talking about it. It's just like every single post. It's just everybody. Why don't we play more domestic players? I told you guys were going to make it. These guys are great. It's outrageous. All right. I appreciate everybody tuning in. It means a lot to me. If I make you angry and you want to just continue to get triggered over and over again, you can hit that like button, hit the subscribe button so that you get notified, right? Turn all those notifications on. Then you're going to get notified when I'm about to say something stupid that you disagree with, and then you'll be able to hop in here. You don't even have to read the video. You can just look at the title and then just, boom, rage comment. That's what you want to do? You should go ahead and do that. Coming up the rest of this week, I'm going to go through, I believe it should be this week. I might wait till the Gold Cup's over. Who knows? See how much time I have. And lay out the 26 players that I think right now have had it. And one of the things I'm going to do going forward is every month, I'm going to have a video of the 26 players I think, and I'm going to break them down into a lock, into a maybe, right? And we'll kind of see who's on the fringe and who's on the bubble and what spots are they going to be in. I'm excited. It feels like this is the first time, maybe outside of the center back position, that we have 2 players who could just consistently fight for that spot, and we'll be able to have somebody back them up. But we're going to see either way. The United States going to be playing on Sunday against Costa Rica. We're going to be catching all that action and then coming back to you the next day to talk about it. So stick around. All of that is coming on the next episode of Extra Time. I appreciate it. See you then.